Welcome to the Shanghai pre-commentary. You're getting an exclusive here. This is before we even do the commentary. Season 3, Round 2 of the ESR multi-class event. I am very attractive. With me, as always, is the Jean-Charles Skarbowski of Quiche, Michael Magas.
Oh, Jean-Charles! Oh. He's here to destroy Cody McKenzie in a drunken stupor.
Correct.
Was it? I think it was McKenzie he was absolutely wrecking.
I think he wrecked a couple dudes. Like, he chopped somebody's leg right off.
Yeah, but I feel like McKenzie was like the target. the damage, so to speak. We're here at Shanghai for the ESR Super Series Championship with the TUGAS and E-Sports Racing Argentina. You know the drill by now if you've been watching these commentaries. It's multiple communities, multi-class event, and it's a fun time. Rides at 10 speed everywhere.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
The rain feels good, and it distracts me from the cancer that is slowly eating my body. And what kind of cancer is that? It is bowel cancer, both untreatable and excruciating, but it's a great way to stay in shape.
You're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. My boy over here is jacked to the nuts on fucking painkillers, and I've decided to start drinking rum at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh boy, I didn't even know about the rum part.
Away we go.
Yeah, I'm feeling interesting things. We'll just put it that way.
I'm trying to show solidarity.
Tobias Thierolf on pole position for Max Simmons, Henrik Andreasen, Martin Evans, Andrew D. Bertrand Barrier starts in 6th place with Steve Davidson, Sebastian Bodine or Bodine. I still haven't gotten told which way that is said. And James Butler in the prototype category.
I'm gonna go with Bodine because it's spelled the same as Matthew Modine from your boy. Shit, come on.
The only thing though is I've also seen people with that exact same spelling, and it's instead of Modine, it's Modine. So
well, shit.
So it could honestly go any way possible.
Let's just split the difference and give it the French pronunciation. It's now Bodine.
Bodine. Oh, now we're opening up all kinds of things. This is what happens when you leave us to our own devices. Apparently, I'm told a lot of people have elected to switch to the Audi in this field for the prototypes. And I'm disappointed by that. And the reason I'm disappointed by that is there's only one Audi livery. It's the one you're looking at right now with Max Simmons. So that means we have a bunch of guys who I'm not going to really be able to tell who they are as they roll through the field.
You will now all be addressed as gray car.
You are cheating Audi guys, because the Audi... I've been through this. The Audi is the only one of the prototype cars that costs money in the game. The other ones are all free. So these guys have gone out there. They bought the Audi prototype. They're clearly cheating. And by that I mean cheating in the same way that Connor Rebush claims all athletic fighters in MMA are cheating.
Just genetically?
Yeah, that's basically his... Connor Rebush is like really, really obsessed with like process-driven fighters and like technical like perfection in a nutshell. So he looks at all athletic fighters as like absolute disasters on technique, but they're just fast enough and explosive enough to make it work. And
you get dipshits like Joaquin Buckley.
It annoys him to no end. It's pretty funny. It's pretty hilarious. He's one half of the Heavy Hands podcast. If anyone else wants to go check that out. Which is basically him hating on athletic fighters and claiming that his co-host, Phil McKenzie, is basically every stereotype British thing you can think of. And is depressing.
Excellent.
I was going to run down the GT field, but unfortunately, we don't have it available to us right now. And we're just kind of chilling through warm-up here.
Warm-up will be 2 more hours. So, I mean, we have time to film.
2.5 minutes, sorry.
Oh. I thought I was just losing time.
No, you're not losing that level of time.
I don't have that much rum on board, so...
So I guess I could talk about the championship positions real quick here. Break it down, who's doing well, who's not doing well, and we'll talk about that here real quick. So we're pretty early on in the field here. This is actually only the second round of the championship, so things are pretty early yet. Tobias Thierolf won at Monza. He leads the field. Second place belongs to Bertrand Barrier, and third place to Andrew D. And then in the GT4 field, it is Pedro Magas, Luciano Echazo, and Guillaume Elkinduco, the man with a 5 in his name that is really messing with me. It feels like you can get high on NyQuil and just stare at it and realize the 5 is talking.
I understood that reference.
So that's the top 3. So it's pretty early yet. I guess. So newcomers to the field today. I'm just looking through the field. Javier Vega wasn't present at Monza. He is here today. So that's a newcomer. James P. Butler, not a newcomer in really any sense of the word, but he did miss the opening round, so he's here, as well as Arno Adracor. They were all guys who were not present at the Italian round of Monza. And it's good to see those here, but we did lose a lot of people. No Vic Vega, no Rui Martins, no Ayrton Tobin, no Dave Baume, no Adam Komorowski. So it is interesting that we're sans a couple of people. Gaston Lecursi's not here. We like Gaston. Gives us a lot to talk about.
No one drives like Gaston. Gives high fives like Gaston. Pedro. With the DeWalt.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. I like it.
I do as well.
That's because they got BC Lions colors. And you're a big fan.
You mean Hamilton Tiger Cat colors?
That's not a real team or place.
It is a real place.
No.
It's not a place I recommend visiting. I'll put it that way. But it is
with all the industrial pollutants and Rob Ford.
The industrial pollutants, Rob. Well, it's Doug Ford, not Rob Ford.
Whatever, same difference. I hear that Jackasses cut your entire education budget.
He did. That was one of the things he did. The hilarious one was he right after he announced that he was cutting the environmental protection budget by like some obscene percentage. It flooded in Ottawa. It was like, yeah, this is what the world. This is what the weather thinks about that.
What the world needs now are floods, sweet floods.
I mean, drugs would be good.
The politicians.
All right, grid is forming up here. We'll try and get a GT3 rundown here before the start of the race. For those, of course, unaware or haven't watched the first round of the series, this is a legacy GT3, so you'll see no current model GT3 cars in the field. It's all the old ones come into play, which is interesting. It lets us see some liveries that we haven't seen in a long time, and obviously here's some cars and some other items that give you a fresh look, a new feel, like the Chevy Camaro, the Ford Mustang, P45 Competizione, the Alpina. So it's going to be fun. Ford GT is a big one too. All right, so let's try and get it done. Elkinduco, Adracor, Marcadet, Magalhaes, Alexandre, Kaschuk, Satoni, Barthez, Delgado, Ermer, Fordham, Vega, Loeffler, Parker, Ermer, Costa, Fight, Echazo, and Jerome. Why are Echazo and Jerome at the back? That's interesting.
Style points.
Well, we are off and through the first corner now. I talked over the start there, but nothing super cool appears to have happened. Oh, Martin! Martin Edmonds, new to the Audi, and immediately spins that mother through the... Oh, another
great car number 1 and great car number 2 have spun. There's great car number 3.
Contact at the back. One of the Ford GTs caught up in that, as well as Pedro Magalhaes. One of the BMW Z4s is off. That's Javier Vega. Wow. So messy as heck at the start. Tobias Thierolf has also fallen way back.
Jerome's already up 10 places.
Andrew D is in the lead. Yeah, Josiah Jerome is up 9 places, but yes,
he was up 10 and then he got passed. As soon as I said it, he got passed.
Romain Barthez going side by side with one of the Corvettes in the field. That is Alfonso Alexandre. 2 aggressive, feisty drivers. So it's D from Simmons, Andreasen, Davidson, and Barrier in the prototype field, and in the GT field it is El Conduco, a Dracor at a 1-2 for France, with Alfonso Alexandre, Romain Barthez, and Magic Kazchuk. As one of the Alpines, David Feit is moving very, very slowly.
Looks like the fight went right out of him, Jim.
Indeed. I like that livery, though.
You would.
Romain Barthez, one of our favorite guys.
It's got a kind of a stylish sea breeze and seafoam livery going on there.
It's got one of the rough cars. There are better rough liveries, I would have to say, but I mean, it's not bad.
Bowden.
Sebastian Bodine.
This is not boding well for the rest of the field.
On the tail of James Butler. Max Simmons running in second place here behind Andrew D in a showdown. D with the free car. I forget what the brand is on that car.
Nike.
There's two different ones, I do believe. There's like a
DMP
and well, hang on. Let me pull up the RaceRoom store.
Do it. Do it now. I can regale the folks with tales of my new plan to wreak havoc in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
So you can buy offhand. You can get on your main holster and your offhand holster once you unlock those. And then you can buy like duplicate weapons, so you can carry two of the same thing. One of them includes the sawed-off shotgun. So my plan is to carry two of those and load them with incendiary rounds and just go around fucking people's worlds up. It might be the best thing I ever thought about doing.
I see.
It's not until way later in the game you can actually unlock explosive slugs, so that won't be an option until later.
Steve Davidson, by the way, pestering around the back end of Henrik Andreasen for the podium. So let's see here. There is the DMP P20, which is the slightly more rounded looking car, and then the Mistral M530, which is the slightly pointier car. I would say that the third place car of Andreasen looks like it is probably the Mistral. But they are very similar looking, so it is going to be hard to tell them apart.
La Magistral Cradle.
Well, there's only 6 liveries of each, so hang on. Let me pull up the livery page, and then that'll be probably how I can tell them apart.
Just give them all names like Dave and Murgatroyd and Julio.
Indeed. So the race leader is...
Oh, Steve Dave's got a sick fucking livery. Look at that. Oh, it's Mauricio. My bad.
I was going to say, are you sure
me the wrong guy?
Yeah, Mauricio with the fire.
Fuck yeah, get him, Mauricio.
Mauricio Delgado. There's a lot of Z06 liveries.
I think we should change his name. Awesome. He will now be Murcielago Delgado. What do you think?
Not opposed.
Excellent.
But really, it's kind of up to him.
No. Whoa, he could be Murcielago Diablo.
Mauricio is so enthusiastic that our usual commentators' rights are suspended when it comes to his.
Kinda, yeah, that's true. Although Steve
Dave.
I actually mentioned to him in chat a couple weeks ago that we always cheer for him, and he seemed not to know that.
I don't think he watches. Steve Dave up into third place. But
we're gonna learn Spanish in one day, not tell anybody, and then we're just gonna do a whole commentary thing in Spanish.
I mean that would be intriguing but unlikely.
See, mi habla un poquito español. I think that made sense.
I believe it did, but that my belief that it did doesn't necessarily mean that it did.
Chupa mi huevos.
Max Simmons looking down the inside at the hairpin. And I don't think he's going to get it this time. I think he took a little too much curve there, but he might get by eventually. Ariel Zatoni. I don't think that was the livery that he was sporting last round. I'm not sure if I like it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird looking, but it is eye-catching. So there is that. He's in 7th place. In the GT field. Battling with our boy Mauricio Delgado. As well as Jamie Fordham. Max Simmons still on the tail of Andrew D, who continues to lead. Steve Davidson has gotten past Henrik Andreasen, and it's 2 Audis on the podium. I'm sorry, Steve Dave. I was cheering for you at the start of the series, but you've changed the Audi. I can no longer cheer for you. I cannot cheer for any of the Audis. You're making my life harder to identify cars.
Pedro got himself a stop-go, therefore the judges are wrong, and they can fuck right off.
Did he? I thought it was a slowdown penalty.
It could have been a stop-slow. I don't know. I didn't. It was one of them things that's not good.
Okay. Max Simmons running in second place. Steve Davidson on his tail. I have no idea if the Audis are faster, although I kind of suspect that they are. There's got to be a reason people are changing to them, I would think.
I believe it's because they're all a bunch of namby-pamby.
We could check the Shanghai leaderboard and see if there's a lot of people on there. That would maybe tell us the answer, because there is that whole thing. Car class here, prototype P1. I can find it. And hopefully Max Simmons doesn't go for an extreme. Well, I mean, he's going around the outside. I don't think you're going to get around the outside of the hairpin. That seems unlikely. There is actually a shopping cart you can race online. Interesting. I need to find out.
I'm down for that.
I need to find out more about this. This could be it here into turn 1. Simmons could get the job done. And, yep. I think he will. Andrew's going to the inside. So Andrew wasn't willing to give up on it yet, but...
put him in the ground.
Shanghai Circuit Grand Prix in prototypes. Let's see. What are the leading cars? Yeah, it's a bunch of Audis at the front. That would make sense. So there you go. Meantime, Bertrand Barrier on the tail of Henrik Andreasen. Steve Davidson has fallen all the way back to 6th place. I didn't catch what happened there. I might have been looking at the RaceRoom site when that happened, but he has fallen back. It's not good.
Could be good.
Or is it good? He's in an Audi, so I'm instantly cheering against him. So, I mean, maybe it is.
Ew.
Arnaud Dracor on the tail of Guillaume Elkinduco. This is battle for the lead of the GT class. I'm going to have to throw my hat on a Dracor because, I mean, I love that Ford GT.
Good old Guillaume Elkdukes.
That should be a car that you have some familiarity with from the great historical epic Ford v Ferrari.
Sir, I believe that only included Nissans.
It did not.
Nissans and Daihatsus.
Ricardo Costa on the tail of Javier Vega. Get past him. Oh, turns him around. Looks like he's going to try and do the gentleman thing and give him the spot back. Actually, kind of was a little bit dangerous. That is actually an example of why the gentleman's rule is sometimes suspended. Oh, Martin! Martin, what are you doing?
Get him! Edmonds privilege.
Martin Edmonds with a yellow flag overtake. I'm sorry. I'm making a note of that. That's going to the steward.
It's me. It's getting frisky out there.
Indeed, Butler and Thierolf getting very close.
I like the green on that car. Very nice. A little olive drab with a little spring freshness.
Indeed. I do like that livery. That is the one that I usually use. That is the DMP car.
I saw a Mustang IRL the other day that it wasn't quite forest green and it wasn't quite olive drab. It was some sort of color I had not seen, and I liked it.
I saw a car, this is probably about a week ago now, that I couldn't identify actually. I didn't know what it was, which is intriguing.
It is
some kind of supercar.
Zonda.
It was not a Zonda. I can identify a Zonda.
You can see and hear a Zonda a mile away.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get super close to it, so I mean, this may be just a case of didn't get close enough to identify it more than anything else. But hey, it happens. And of course, my greatest find was I was walking through Milton at one point and came across an Ital-designed Shihiro, which the only reason I even know what that car is it was in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And it was never mass produced. So somebody got a project car and was driving it around in Milton. And to that person,
Noise.
I say, you're an idiot.
Correct. Well, I mean, there's a special trick I can share with you to be able to identify cars when they're too far away. You just throw a rock at it as hard as you fucking can, and then they'll come over and you can see what it is.
They'll come over. JB Fordham on the tail of Magic Kazak. Magic's having a good day. Up in 4th place in the GT field. Very, very nice. In the Haribo Mercedes.
Gummy bears.
I do love the
And
Haribo.
Coke bottles.
I do love the Haribo livery.
Haribo Coke bottles.
So Simmons has pulled away to 4.2 seconds, so he's made short work of Andrew D, who is now in 2nd place with Andreasen and Barrier, as one of the Audis goes spinning around again, and that's Martin Edmonds.
Spinning the beat around. Michael, are you ready for today's headline of doom?
I don't know if my back can take it, but let's hear it.
Goblin Death Cult practices dark arts on the shores of White Rock Lake.
Interesting.
The subline is, street racing isn't the real problem in Dallas. This is.
I guess.
Yeah, I would. Between the two, Goblin Death Cult.
Oh no! Magic Kazak is spun around. He's dropping through the field. I was trying to work out what car that was that Delgado passed, but I see Kazak is falling like a rock. And he is going now in front of the Alpine of Luciano Chazo. Chazo's made some good progress through the field. He's up to 9th place in the GT field. Josiah Jerome, where are you? There you are. A couple spots ahead of Chazo. He's in front of the Haribo Mercedes, and Chazo is behind the Haribo Mercedes.
All I know is that if the next team-based race league is put forth and no one's chosen the team name of Goblin Death Cult, you fucked up.
Looks like we've lost Roman Barthez as well as David Feit from the field.
Well, that's no fun. I was looking for some late game heroics.
Luciano Chazo looking for a way past the Haribo car, and it is not going to happen for the time being. Prototypes are starting to make their way through some back traffic. GT doing a good job of getting out of the way. One of the Z06s there. At a guess, I'm going to say that's Henrik Irmer. We also have Rene Irmer and Pedro Magalhaes, Mauricio Delgado, Alfonso Alexandre, so it might not be.
Might be.
But Henrik is behind. No, it looks like it would be one behind a BMW. That could have actually been Pedro Magalhaes. They may be that far up the field in terms of lapping. Arnaud Adracor on board with the Ford GT driver as he tries to track down Guillaume Elkinduco.
Good old El Dukes. I'm going to go assume that Andreasen is actually Hellboy Hansen in disguise until further notice.
Well, there you go, Henrik. You've been challenged to prove that you are not Hellboy Hansen.
Correct.
You've been challenged to prove... Oh, one of the Alpinas is going the wrong way. Also, we've inverted the camera somehow. So Luciano Chazo off the track. You have been challenged to prove that you have not beaten Swedish fighters, Japanese fighters, Russian fighters, Korean fighters.
This is the single weirdest and coolest speech
I've ever
had in an MMA event.
It's one of the greatest. This should not work, but the delivery makes it.
Where's he going with this one? Why is he so laconic? Oh, wait, he's Nordic. Never mind.
It's just how Hellboy talks.
He's got a little brain damage, and he's got a little seasonal affective disorder. It's fine.
His son's fighting in MMA now, so...
Yeah, you were saying.
Hellboy 2!
Hellboy, the sequel. He should have just called himself the sequel.
Or what was the second Hellboy? It was Golden Army.
Golden
right?
Army, yeah.
Yeah.
Could have, or call himself Abe Sapien.
That works. Andreasen buzzing around the back end of Andrew D's. They make their way up into some traffic. One of the DeWalt Z04s there, or Z06s, pardon me. Tobias Thierolf making an overtake on Sebastian Bodine. They go side by side, and Thierolf gets 6th place. Through traffic there, one of the BMWs getting lapped.
Max Simmons currently 9 laps ahead of the entire field.
No, he's on the 9th lap.
Oh, my bad.
Whoa, Sebastian Bodine in the wall.
Jeremiah Jerome, you have been fined 2 credits because you are too damn pretty. Bodine, 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 Bodine. I'm begging of you, please don't crash into that man.
Well, it's a wall he crashed into.
Walls are, like, not as good. At least dudes are, like, you can rebound off cars and stuff, or maybe push them away, or just use them as a braking buffer as you barrel into a corner.
A lot of lap traffic here around the guys battling for 2nd place, so their fight is a little on hold as they navigate through traffic. There's the Haribo Mercedes, which assuming there's no... Oh, Henrik! Henrik overcooks it. That'll probably cost him 3rd place, I would think. There it goes. Bertrand Barrier says, don't need to ask me twice. Arnaud track course, still on the tail of El Conduco. These two are, of course, Team GTR3 members, so they're about as close to pro racers as we get on the grid. So watching them kind of run away with this is expected. Alfonso Alchandre is about 8-9 seconds behind them.
It's like 2 lobsters on the bottom of the ocean duking it out. I'm trying to formulate a list of movies that need to be on Blu-ray but aren't. So far, I've got Down Periscope, 13th Warrior, and there's a 3rd one that I can't remember.
Oh, 13th Warrior. Very good, very good. I still someday I will figure out what happened to the one actor in that movie, because there's one of the 13 Warriors who doesn't get a death scene, but like just isn't in the second half of the movie, and then he shows up at the boat at the end. And I've looked up the actor. The actor has no acting credits after that. So,
nice.
Morbid theory, he might have died while filming the movie.
Maybe.
He was the young one though, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But
well, there's the tall guy, but the tall guy gets killed in the first night in the village.
Yeah, it's Lurch.
Yeah, he was apparently had mobility issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's just the boy. Hatlaff, I think is the character's name.
Boy.
He isn't given like a death scene at any point. He just kind of stops being in the movie, and then at the end he's on the boat again, and it's like, what has happened here?
Again?
What has happened here? He survives along with Etgo the Silent, Weeth the Musician, and Herger the Joyous.
Some hamburgers.
Mm-hmm. I wish the actor who played Herger had gotten more roles, to be honest. He was very good.
Which one was that again?
Herger is like the guy who does the duel. One of the smaller guys.
He's in stuff. Oh, I think
he's in other stuff.
Mainly Nordic stuff.
Yeah, he did a lot of Nordic stuff. He's got some other English. Oh, spin around for Henrik Andreasen. So that'll topple him through the field.
I think Nose Tattoo Guy had more roles than almost anyone else.
What, Skeld?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen him in anything else.
Correct.
Of course, maybe. I don't recognize him without the tattoo. Might be.
I seem to just remember that he showed up in shows randomly.
Clive Russell, who was the fat warrior. Literally, that's what they called him.
I don't sound like that.
Was in Game of Thrones. Clive Russell.
Gamey Thorns.
He was the Blackfish in Game of Thrones.
And Vladimir Kulich, a.k.a. Brain, come on. Levi. He was the surgeon in fucking Smoking Aces.
Mm-hmm. He's done some other stuff.
Richard Bremer, who was
Tony Curran, who is Weath, has done some things. He was in Defiance, most notably.
Nose Tattoo Guy Skeld was 13th Warrior, Les Miserables, Harry Potter, and the Unnecessary Sequel.
I never have actually seen a Harry Potter movie the whole way through.
Never seen him, never read him, don't care. He's also in Rise of the Skywalker.
Also haven't seen
a lot of stuff.
I will probably see Rise of Skywalker at some point.
Yeah, I mean...
I was very turned off after the second.
Oh, he was in a Beowulf adaptation. What's this about? As we, have an hour left in the race.
Indeed. Got a couple of good battles going on, though, so I'm keeping an eye on the action. If stuff starts happening, I'll cut in. But
Beowulf, return to the Shield Lands. Heroic legend Beowulf gallops through an epic mystical Shield Lands to his childhood home of Herot, hoping to set right past wrongs, like, fucking the monster and having a monster child, probably, would be on that. Don't stick your dick in monster.
That would generally be a good idea, as the pit window has opened.
The hit window?
Pit window.
Oh. Boring. Trying to figure out who is this man's. Kieran Brew, who plays Beowulf.
Might have lost Pedro Magalhaes here. He's shown with a negative time differential, which usually means he's in the pits and has retired the car.
Could be.
We'll find out, I guess, eventually, but I think that is probably what has happened. Which is a shame, because you can't walk away from a guy like Pedro Magalhaes.
You can only hope to run and slow him down. Your boy Weath, a.k.a. Tony Curran, has been in shit tons of things.
Oh, yeah. He was very good in Defiance, if you not checked out that TV series.
I remember him specifically from Blade 2.
Yes. He dies pretty early in the movie, though.
Yeah.
Part of the, I don't remember the name of them now. The Ron Perlman's gang, though.
Oh yeah, the Night Stalkers or something.
Night Stalkers. Like no, Night Stalkers was that was Blade Trinity.
Right.
Blood something.
Blood Pact or Blood Pack. The Blood Pack, I think. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I'm right.
They called him Priest.
Indeed. AKA the one that wasn't Donnie Yen.
Mm-hmm. Donnie Yen, Tony Curran, Matt Schultz was one of them as well.
Yep. The cute chick that was Verlaine.
Mm-hmm.
Verlaine. That's one of those vocal deliveries that will stick in my mind forever. Is the dude's obviously already zombified with the bad vampire disease, and he's coming out of the shadows, and it's like Verlaine, and it's all reverbed out.
Oh, one of the Audis off track there. I think that's Josiah Jerome. It is. It's Josiah Jerome recovering from an off. A couple early pit stops. Alfonso Alchandre's been in. Luciano Chazo's been in. So they're kind of gambling. They're gambling that their tires can last over an hour. I don't know what the wear on these cars is like. I haven't raced them in some time. But an hour usually is pushing it a little bit.
Oh, I didn't put this together. The lady who plays the Queen in 13th Warrior, Diane Venora, also one of the main interests in Heat and in The Jackal.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't know that. Thank you, IMDb, you son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Haribo Mercedes dropping through the order there. That's Magic Kazchuk. Had a little bobble.
Wobble, wobble.
He's had a couple of those. He's definitely having some hard times controlling that car, which is unfortunate because he was looking very quick. Like if he can get the control of the car, I think he's got a good run in him. But he does have to find a way to make that happen. Still is in 7th place. So, I mean, he's having a perfectly fine day.
He must continue to fuck around in order to find out.
Arno Drakor and El Conduco, of course, way ahead.
I think we should force Stoffmill to prove that he isn't one of the Vikings in 13th Warrior.
We see what it looks like, though. So
yeah,
work all that well.
That doesn't necessarily mean my particular brand of absurdist humor won't apply.
That's true. Kazchuk going side by side with the Corvette of Rene Ermer, and Ermer is going to come out ahead on that one. So Ermer picks up another spot. Good to see Rene back in the field.
Is it, though?
It is. Rene is a perfectly charming driver. I was very disappointed that last season when we did this, that he raced in the upper class when I was in the lower class because I wanted to race against him. That did not happen. Magic Kazchuk running in 8th place. On board with the Haribo Mercedes. Josiah Jerome in the Audi in behind.
Kind of surprised Mr. Jerome has not escalated the shenanigans to an extreme degree here.
Well, he's been off the track a couple times, so I think he's having a bit of a rough day.
These are true
might explain why he was unable to get a lap time in during qualifying. Why he started so far at the back is he just may not be comfortable on the track.
Fair enough.
This track is very difficult. If you do not have a good feel for it, it will fuck you up. It will send you out the blender. Especially the S portion that begins the lap.
I also have not seen Josiah Jerome race in like forever, so.
He's been largely just a Saturday guy lately.
What a schmuckle.
Sparks kicking up off of the back of race leader El Conduco. Well, not race leader, but class leader. Max Simmons having a lonely day out front. 16 seconds up on Andrew D.
Nice.
Kazchuk overtakes Ermer further back. So getting a position back. Barrier and Davidson still on the tail of D, trying to get that second place. Josiah Jerome up ahead. There are way cooler Audi liveries than that Josiah Jerome. You've let me down a little bit.
I need something a little bit more tropical.
I could probably come up with something more tropical. There's a lot of interesting Audi liveries, so I don't know why that one in particular was picked.
Probably because of political pressure.
I mean, it's possible. If I recall correctly, this is the one that has the I forget what it's got the Jacko livery. That's definitely the one I would have totally done. That one's awesome. I'll find a picture of it.
Disgusting. Physical images, gross.
Not very tropical, though. I rescind my point on that one.
Fair enough.
But there are better liveries than what he's got.
Murcielago Diablo, making a break for it. Go, baby, go. Fire the photon torpedoes.
Trying to get around Kazchuk there. And Josiah Jerome gets bumped up wide in the whole process. And I think Josiah is going to end up ahead of all of them here, actually. Yeah! Escorts the Haribo car outside and actually holds on to the position. Kazchuk behind him, then it's Delgado, and then it's Irmer. So, really good battle between these four going on right now. I appreciate it.
I've been bamboozled. I'm still going down the IMDb rabbit hole. I found out that Christopher Guest has a brother.
Henrik Andreasen off the track again.
And the brother has done a bunch of different things, but it's all like a voice in this movie that I've never watched, or he's had a long-standing role on this show that I've never even heard of, or things like that. And then I find out he's in some movie called Dragons Race to the Edge. I'm like, whoa, this must be the coolest shit in the world. No,
probably isn't.
It's a How to Train Your Dragon show that no one's ever heard of. Or maybe they have, and I don't know anything about that particular world.
Oh, there's a dragon car. Why did he not pick the dragon car?
Why wouldn't everybody pick the dragon car? What the fuck?
That would have been my pick. There's also a kangaroo car.
Dragon car.
And one with a giant spider on it. Come on, guys.
The spider joint.
You guys in the Audis, you're letting me down. You're letting me down here.
Seriously.
There is the car in question.
Which livery am I looking at here?
So the 07 one is the dragon. Oh, that's kind of cool. Then the 11 is the kangaroo, and the spider is number 12.
Oh yeah, the spider's dope as hell. The kangaroo's alright. It's got the cool warning sign. I like it. Dragon car's not as dragony as I'd like, but it's still dragony. So I think the spider wins. And if you haven't picked any of those, you have clearly lost.
Uh-huh.
And we got one that's Swedish/Ukrainian colors, so that could have been a topical one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's two of them, actually.
Nobody's bold enough to take up that mantle. Oh, I found the other one. It's kind of purpley. It's not quite blue.
Mm.
But you're all fucked up on drugs, so I understand you can't see colors.
I think the only ones we have is the number 22 Audi Racing Experience. That's Alex Loeffler's car, and then Josiah's in the number 5 Team Phoenix car.
I just want to reiterate how badly you've all fucked up by not picking any of those three things.
Mm-hmm. So dragging a kangaroo and a spider. I don't know if I need to draw you a diagram here.
Indeed.
Riding on board with Ariel Zatoni. 4th place. One of the prototypes is off track there. I think that's Bodine.
Bowden.
David Marcaday trying to make something happen there, but Ariel Zatoni covers him off. Battle for 3rd place, I do believe, right now with them, the two of them in Fordham. Now, it should be mentioned, Alfonso. Oh, in this case, Zatoni's in the pits. Whoa! Overkicked it on pit entry. David Marcaday will pick up a spot off that. I was going to say, Alfonso Alexandre, who pitted earlier, was in 3rd place, but I don't think that pitting when he pitted is going to work out for him. So I don't know if he might be in this fight, but I don't know about it. Rene Irmer. 7th place in the GT category. By the way, we can confirm that Pedro Magas retired some time ago. He's 6 laps down. So.
No, Pedro.
No, Pedro.
I would like to grant the 1-up to Pedro so he can come back.
Give him the green mushroom.
Hell yeah.
As a kid, I had like a bunch of the plush Mario mushrooms that I would use as projectiles to hit Kyle in the head with.
And by plush, do you mean like actual hockey pucks?
No, they were plush. They were like, you know, you see them at comic book stores. I picked up a poison one, a 1-up one, and the big one. So the red, the purple, and the green.
Fair enough.
I really wanted an orange one, you know, the Mario Kart one with the repeater jet, but that I could not find that one. John Barker, running in 8th place, behind Mauricio Delgado and Rene Armour. Good to see him. He's caught up to them. So Alfonso Alexandre has come out ahead of Marcaday and Zatoni by quite a bit, actually. So I don't know. Maybe he's in this fight. I just really worry about where his tires are going to be at the end of the race. I just think they're going to be quite worn. And we might see some mistakes, some losses of control, some slip-ups. But we'll see. We'll see. Every so often, someone runs a strategy that I just cannot endorse, and it works out. So, yeah.
Every now and again, somebody pulls a big brain play. But it looks dumb.
Thierolf, who was the pole sitter, down in 5th place. Got involved in some fisticuffs on the first lap, dropped back, and has been involved in some fisticuffs since with, I think, Martin Edmonds. Now is hunting down Steve Davidson.
I also just found out that Mads Mikkelsen has an actor brother named Lars Mikkelsen.
I was aware.
And I know I've seen him in something, but I don't remember what it is. He's apparently in The Witcher, but I don't remember his character. He's in Sherlock.
He's the wizard in the first episode.
You're the wizard. Or is it just the meds that make you think you are him?
I never said I was a wizard. I think your meds are making you think that you're a wizard.
Bertrand, what are you doing? A little squirrely.
A little bit. These prototypes can be a handful. I'm waiting for the first prototype to hit the pit road. Should be soonish. I mean, we're approaching that halfway point of the race. 49 minutes to go, 50 minutes to go, basically. And it's a 90-minute race, so 45 is the halfway point.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking at this picture again, and he looks exactly like a different actor. This is not the guy I think he is. Now it's going to bother me. Oh, he looks like your boy, the T1000. Fucking...
Robert Patrick?
Yeah. Looks like an older Robert Patrick, who is also older at this time, I realize.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at that and tell me that doesn't look like Robert Patrick.
A little bit.
I mean, a little bit.
I'm not as on board as you.
That's because you're drunk. No, wait.
Alex Loeffler making his way around Henrik Irmer. He's come in and made his pit stop. John Barker getting lapped by Sebastian Bodine. Bertrand Barria has a very concerning line through that hairpin, I will say that. As he heads into the pit lane, so he is the first prototype to make the blink.
Not Max Simmons?
Oh, it'll never be Max Simmons. Rene Irmer and Henrik Irmer have been in and done their pit stops as well.
Oh my God. Mike, are you ready for the super headline part 2?
Okay.
This was from yesterday. Low water levels reveal body in a barrel in Lake Mead. Mm-hmm. Officials say more are likely to be found. Trout is a motherfucker. Somebody going to jail. Not only do you not have water, you're also going to prison.
Mauricio Delgado in the pit lane. John Barker continues on.
Investigators believe the body to be that of a homicide victim from the 1980s based on items recovered from the barrel. Somebody might already be dead and not going to jail then, possibly.
Possibly, if we're talking about like a 40-year-old crime.
Don't say 40-year-old. That reminds me of how old I am. Then you shall be too next year.
No.
The year after that.
No.
5 years later from here.
Yes.
Hooray!
Went to a place called Gladiator Burger the other day.
Do you have to fight somebody for the burger, or does the burger fight you? Or like,
I like the names of other burgers. It's like Gladiator, Caesar Burger, Liberator Burger.
Damn. What's the one with pineapple on it?
There is no one with pineapple.
Doesn't sound very combative.
I had the Major Burger because it was the cheapest, and I'd never been there, so I was like, okay, we'll go with the cheapest one on the menu, and that sounds good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Prices are pretty reasonable too. Actually, if you're in the Mississauga area, I recommend checking it out. Got some flashing headlights from Alfonso Alexandre. Now, the deal here, though, is I believe that's Javier Vega in front of him, and this is for position, so this is not a blue flag scenario, if I am not mistaken. Now, Vega hasn't pitted. Alexandre has pitted, so fighting him is not really paying attention to one's race, but he is within his rights to do so, and he is fighting him a little bit. But that will be a spot there for Alexandre. I will have to give Alexandre the steward's talk of it was for position. The headlight flashing is really not required. Martin Edmonds appears to be in the pit lane. And somebody is off the track there. I think that might be Alexandre who spun. It was a red Corvette. So unless there's another red Corvette, that was Alexandre. Alex Loeffler, very slow on the infield. Rejoins the track very safely. Tobias Thierolf on the tail of Steve Davidson, has been for some time. I would think about doing a pit stop here to try and undercut him if I were Tobias. Let's see if he does. Oh, well, Steve's coming in, so you cannot undercut him, but you will try to race him off pit road. Who you got, Byron? Who's going to get the better pit stop here, Tobias or Steve?
Are you go with Gray Car? Gray Car number 1 or number 2, possibly number 6. I don't know how many there are.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5.
All right, so not Gray Car number 6. Very low probability of Gray Car number 6 coming through on that one.
Rene Irmer in 10th place. GT race. Not particularly close to anybody. About a second and a half up the road is Kaschuk. Came out quite a ways ahead of John Barker. It went long. And he's going to try and make up with it, one of the Alpines in the wall there.
That was vaguely terrifying.
It's not Ichazo. That's got to be Jamie Fordham, who was in the wall.
My door cracked open a little bit, and I just got a delivery dropped off, and the guy just yells like, "Oh, delivery for you!" Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate. Murcielago Delgado.
Mauricio.
Murcielago Diablo.
Tobias Theerolf rejoins ahead of Steve Davidson. So Theerolf's pit crew outdoing Davidson's. Very nice.
The nicest.
Doing a fantastic job there.
We'll rename you Fantasticles, the Greek hero.
Actually, Theerolf has come out ahead of Barrier, so he's on the podium now. In theory. That's where, if Andreassen's long run here works out, or if Bodine's or Butler's, I mean, there's a lot of variables, but Barrier was on the podium. Theerolf has come out ahead of him, and with fresher tires.
Fresh. Keep it fresh to death.
It's all looking pretty good for him right now.
Michael, we have a plotline proposal from the internet about a TV show. At the end of Young Sheldon, they should kill him off and reveal that the guy from Big Bang Theory was a serial killer who stole the identity of a dead kid.
I'd be intrigued by that.
Indeed. They might actually make that show watchable, question mark?
I watched a couple episodes. It's not terrible.
It made me want to beat... I watched half an episode. It made me want to beat up nerds. I've never beat up a nerd in my
Big
life.
Bang Theory? Yeah, Big Bang Theory depends on the episode. There are some terrible ones.
It's just, I don't know what one I watched, but I wanted to do physical harm to people just because they were nerds. And I'm kind of a nerd, so that's weird.
Yeah. It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
No, it was all hit for me. I wanted to just hit them all.
Well, in this case.
I would not miss. They couldn't run fast enough.
Yup. I do enjoy when you get to beat Sheldon's brother, the doctor of tires. And he's like, this is the Dallas Cowboys of tires, and I mean the Troy Aikman Cowboys, not the Tony Romo.
Correct.
And then it's like, oh, thank you. You pick up your set tomorrow. And then the one character's like, oh, that was really good. He's like, yeah. Selling tires is really easy if you know your stuff and hate Tony Romo.
Did anybody like Tony Romo? Jerry,
no, not really.
Jerry, whatever his name is, notwithstanding.
No, not really. Wasn't as bad as wasn't as bad. Also, wasn't as bad as people think. It's like that, people blame like their lack of playoff success on him, and it's like, okay, he blew one game with the hold. I'll give you that, but the other games, I think we're ignoring that the Dallas Cowboys chronically underperform as a team in the playoffs.
Was he the one that did the boot fumble, or was it the Jets?
That was the Jets.
Right.
That was Mark Sanchez.
There you go, Dirty Sanchez. Anybody not familiar with North American gridiron Faustball?
Oh, Steve Davidson going hard to the inside. Where is he?
Goodbye.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he was going to miss that turn entirely, and he did. That was an awkward camera change that made us miss that, but I felt that was coming. That was a super late move.
Murcielago Delgado Diablo El Grande Jr. making a move on the inside.
Battling with our boy John Barker.
Indeed, Juan Barcadero.
Couple of cars yet to pit. We got Ricardo Costa, Josiah Jerome, Guillaume Elkanduko, James Butler, Sebastian Bodine, Max Simmons, of course. Andrew D on the tail of That is James Butler. James, you might want to get in the pits if you're being caught by people who have stopped. This would suggest that the car does not have good pace right now. And with less than 40 minutes to go, if I'm James Butler, I'm ducking in the pits. I appreciate that him and Bodine have gone deep. They're trying to do something strategically here because they've had a rough day. Their race has been less than ideal, but it does feel like at this point they need to consider moving into pit lane.
What I would appreciate is if Mr. Bowden would put like the Spanish N on the end of his name with the little accent, just so it would mess with Mike for pronunciation even further. It'd be like Bowden. Isn't Bowden? That's the Norse god, right? Son, father of Loki and Thor.
Well, that's Odin. Sorry.
That's what I said.
Odin is a character in Chicago Fire, actually, as Martin Edmonds spins it around. Played by the I can't remember the actor's name, but I can remember he's in Oz. He's Saeed.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay.
Eamon Walker.
There you go.
Who is also in Lord of War with the great line of,
I prefer it my way.
These kids, they lack discipline, focus. As after he shot one of them.
Uh-huh. I want the gun of Rambo.
Oh, that's his son that says that.
That Rambo
One,
First Blood
two,
or two?
2 or 3. I've only seen part 1. David Marcaday trying to get around Alfonso Alexandre. We'll have way fresher tires than Alexandre. Alexandre pitted very, very early. And might be paying for it now. So Butler is still out there. Bodine has gone into the pits and served his pit stop. Butler is going all out for this super long run. And I don't know why, because he's in traffic at this point. He's been caught by the pit stoppers. There is no advantage, aside from really keeping the tires nice and fresh for the end of the race. But the problem is there's only 35 minutes left. There's not a lot of time.
Oh.
In terms of tire life.
Oh, I was going to go on expounding about Rambo and how everybody needs to go out and see Rambo Last Blood. So I clicked on the Stallone IMDb to see if he was doing another Rambo movie, even though the last one should be the last one. And I found out he's just, they're done making Expendables 4.
Anyone interesting in Expendables 4?
I'm looking here. We got 50 Cent. Megan Fox? Why is this happening?
I don't understand why either of those are really in there.
Oh, they got Tony
Josiah
Jaa?
Jerome. Josiah Jerome collects Luciano Echazo. Bit of an odd contact there.
They got Tony Jaa. Somebody's gonna get a knee right in the fucking cranium. And Iko Uwais, who was from The Raid, which I still need to watch. And Andy Garcia is the CIA agent.
Sounds good.
But, no, my brain is having a real problem with names today. Your boy with the shotgun, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terry Crews. No, Terry Crews. Apparently he's been a bit blackballed since he took his stance against sexual abusers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, fuck you people.
Yep.
I might pirate Expendables 4 instead of actually doing anything monetarily with it.
David Marcaday being held off by Alfonso Alexandre. Yeah, Hollywood tends to protect its own, unfortunately.
Fuck you people.
Same as any industry, really. Marcaday down the inside of Alexandre. I think he's got it. I don't see Alexandre. Is the gap growing or is it shrinking? He's got him. Okay. So that's third place for Mark. So everybody has handled their pit stop. Max Simmons is out in front, leading Andrew D. Tobias Theerolf in third, followed by Bertrand Barrier, Steve Davidson, and Mark Evans. Henrik Andreassen's fallen all the way back to 7th place. Sebastian Bodine and James Butler. And then in the GT4 field, it's Elkin Duco and Adrakor, who've been dominating the whole time. Marcaday is now up into third, so that's an all French podium right now. Ariel Zatoni, Luciano Achazo, Josiah Jerome has come through the field pretty nicely to 7th place. Magic Kashchuk, Rene Ermer, and Mauricio Delgado. That is your top 10. John Barker's still running. Jamie Fordham has really had a rough time. Javier Vega, Henry Ermer, Ricardo Costa, and Alex Loeffler, who has had a nightmare. Just kind of lately, a lot of his races have gone very badly.
Could be worse. Somehow. All right. Are you ready for the plot of a potential future Sylvester Stallone movie?
Okay.
It's called Little America.
Okay.
The only person attached to this is the writer-director Rowan Athale and Sylvester Stallone as star.
Okay.
In a dystopian boy, wow. I would not
very ugly
that
blue flag moment there with Alfonso Alexandre and one of the Audis.
Great car number 7.
It is because, of course, and you know what's even worse is almost everyone's picked the number 2 car as their Audi. So like even the number plate is not actually useful for me. I really can't tell.
Welcome to the great car apocalypse.
Josiah Jerome on the tail of Luciano Achazo.
All right. Oh, every time I try and read this thing, people keep crashing.
Oh, more contact.
Keep distracting me with your juicy collisions.
Indeed, the blue flags are taking their toll right now.
Fuck a boat. All right. In a dystopian future where China owns America, a former American Force Recon member is hired by a Chinese billionaire to go to an American ghetto and find his daughter. So it's like Escape from New York, I think. But with different political leanings.
I see.
Indeed.
Barrier, who was looking at a podium, then just Tobias Theerolf decided, no, this is mine. And I'm not really sure what Barrier can do about it. He's on rougher tires. Alfonso Alexandre and David Marcaday continue to fire off against each other. I can't help but think that the early pit stop by Alexandre is not a great plan right now.
But what if it was the best plan?
Magic Kashchuk getting lapped there. Probably be turning my eye to stewarding this race probably tomorrow, as I can't really do anything else.
I'm stewarding it right now. You're all guilty. Everybody's fine. 70,000 points. Everybody's fine. Exactly enough points to take you back to 0. Coincidentally and conveniently.
Resetting the whole thing.
Indeed.
Fight club for racing.
Yup. Every race, everybody gets penalized just enough to negate the points they just earned. And everybody ties for first at the end, and it's really the friends you made along the way that were the real points.
Indeed. And beating the crap out of Jared Leto.
Correct. Which, in retrospect, just ages better and better.
I heard the Morbius movie was not very good.
Yeah, that's all I heard. I did hear a few people say it was really, really funny, but everybody else is like, this is not good.
I also feel like if the best thing anyone's saying is it's really funny in a movie that's not a comedy, that might be a bad sign, because it might be a lot of unintentional humor.
These are correct statements. Is that Martin again? Probably Martin again.
It's one of the Audis.
Not Steve Dave. There's great car number 4.
It is not Steve Dave. It is not Theo Rolf, and it's not Simmons. So it's either Butler or Edmonds.
Correct. Yeah, although in defense of Jared Leto, even though he is kind of a reprehensible, kind of a method douchebag, I really liked his Joker in the Suicide Squad. I thought it was a good take, good modern take.
I did.
He just went a little hard in the paint, which is typical for Jared Leto.
Mm-hmm. It is what you get.
And you too fucking blonde. Get the fuck off my porch. Anybody who's not seen Fight Club, oh boy, do I have a movie for you to watch.
Mm-hmm.
We should corral Max Simmons and get him on chat and get him to watch Fight Club with us.
He probably has never seen Fight Club.
Probably has not. Probably also Josiah Jerome, although who knows.
Mm-hmm. Josiah, we're doing movie night with Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
$26 minutes to go. A lot of things are kind of settled, which is a little bit disappointing. I mean, you've got Simmons out there with a 30-second lead at the front of the pack. Much happening there. And somehow El Caduco has pulled out 33 seconds ahead of a Dracor. How do you do that?
I don't know. All I know is that you're not hardcore unless you're a Dracor.
Still got some stuff through the field. Steve Davidson here is chasing Bertrand Barrier for 4th place. They're having a nice tight battle. Further back in the GT field, Mauricio Delgado and Rene Ermer and John Barker and Jamie Fordham are having a little bit of duel. So, fun stuff there. Looks like we've lost Josiah Jerome at some point. And other than that, I mean, Alexandre and Marcaday are still kind of close, but Marcaday is pulling away from him and is trying to catch a Dracor. So I don't think that fight is really particularly on anymore because Dracor, Alexandre, of course, pitted very, very early and does not have very good tires at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Dave.
You get him, Steve Dave.
Steve Dave in the wall. See where he rejoins. Might just be in 5th place again, but pressure is off Barrier. Jamie Fordham with a 1 non-functional headlight.
With 1 headlight. I haven't heard that song in forever.
I'm not even sure
what One Headlight by Wallflowers.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
You've heard it. It was the most popular song in the world for like 2 years, and it drove me insane.
How long ago was this, though?
Early 2000s. Let me see. The Wallflowers. With Jakob Dylan as the dude.
The dude abides.
Oh, maybe I was... Oh, this is mid-90s. My bad.
Yeah, I may honestly not be familiar with it.
I doubt it.
My whole like my 90s music is actually kind of limited because obviously I was alive for it, but I wasn't really listening to a lot of music of my own volition, and my dad more or less would have been in the 80s and 70s.
May I introduce you to a hip-hop phenomenon known as the Wu-Tang Clan?
I have heard Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang!
I'm not that lackluster.
Wu-Tang!
But like, there's a lot of stuff in the 90s that like, it's like if my dad or mom wasn't into it, that really didn't hear it. So Jamie Fordham still trying to get back up in the top 10, put pressure on John Barker. The BMW Z4 versus the Alpina BMW B6. So interesting rivalry of BMW Genesis cars.
Let's see.
Even if Fordham's is badged as an Alpina. I think I've explained it before. Alpina is essentially a BMW, but it's a tuning brand.
She's got a really high-end stereo in it.
Porsche has like similar deal with like with RUF, RUF, and Mercedes has the same deal with Carlson, where it's like it's essentially the same car, but it's tuned a little bit differently, and particularly Carlson does higher end luxury, sort of like a Toyota Lexus or a Honda Acura relationship. So that's the deal here. All of these are different cars, because of course one is the Z4 that's driven by Fordham, which is the, or not Fordham, by Barker, which is the very sporty BMW, and then the more conventional looking BMW is a take on the BMW M series, the M6. Marcaday is catching up to a Dracor, so something is wrong with a Dracor, I think, because keep in mind a Dracor ran away with this. Him and Elkin Duco were having a battle for the lead, virtually untouchable. Took out a huge lead. Now he's 40 seconds behind Elkin Duco and under pressure from Marcaday, so something has got to be wrong with the Dracor's car, and Marcaday just flying past him here on the straightaway doesn't really leave me with any good feelings about it right now.
Would you say perhaps you have bad feelings?
Either something's wrong with the car, or something is wrong with maybe like the equipment that a Dracor is using. I mean, I know I've had, issues with pedals crop up in a race, or the famous time that the wheel came off in my hands. That was great. So, a lot can go wrong, but I think something is going wrong for a Dracor right now. And whether it's an in-game problem or a real-life hardware problem, I don't know. Because there's nothing really to explain why he's falling back like this. Now he's still got about 5 to 6 seconds ahead of Alfonso Alexandre. I'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll see if that closes down as well. John Barker has been overtaken by Jamie Fordham off camera.
Took him out behind the woodshed and janked his tires.
Around 10 laps to 11 laps left for the GT runners. Tobias Thierolf is now 1.3 seconds behind Andrew D, so he coming.
He gonna take all your hash browns.
Not much else happening in the prototype series right now. And that is... Oh, that's Tobias Thierolf! So far from going for second place, he loses third place to Bertrand Barrier. Don't know if he got into some kind of extracurriculars with D or if he just took himself out. I don't know. Barker versus Fordham is still going on for 10th place. Good action there. I'm looking for anything else in the GT field. It's Dracor and Marcaday. So whatever was wrong with the Dracor's car, he's still putting up reasonable times. He's still holding on okay. But he looked very much like a sitting duck earlier. John Barker looking to the inside of the hairpin. And the larger-bodied Alpina hangs on. I actually really wish that BMW kept using the Z series for their GT3 cars. I think it just looks cooler, and I think it also performed better because, of course, they went to the M6 and now the M4. The M6 was kind of a bit of a disaster. It's a very wide line there from Fordham. Opens the door, and John Barker back into the top 10.
It's a lot of banging and crashing and scraping.
Indeed, Fordham is not giving up. We'll see how the M4 does now that is the very unpopular GT3 in real life. For a variety of reasons, but we haven't really seen how it will perform. Really strong in Assetto Corsa right now, but that's just that new car smell.
Giggity.
Every time Assetto Corsa Competizione adds a car to the game, and old school Assetto Corsa, this goes for a lot of actual different sim racing games, they tend to come in very overpowered. That's usually how it works.
Need them to start adding Studebakers.
See who's running the BMW M4 this season in the European Series. So you got the Row Racing team with Nicky Katzberg, Augusto Farfus, Nick Yolodi. That's a really good lineup. And the junior team of Daniel Harper, Neil Verhagen, and Max Hesse, or Hesse. I'm not sure how to say that. I've not seen it before. That's a bunch of newcomers. And then that is the only BMWs being run this season. Interesting. I expected more. Looks like not.
It appears Josiah Jerome is dead. Rip.
It does appear that is the case.
Either that or he's just maxing, relaxing, all cool, eating some corn dogs in the pit lane. Also, why does this man have a coat hanger on the front of his car?
I have no idea what to do with that is. All the Audis have it, so it's got to be something to do with the
Must
arrow,
be a
maybe.
car from Texas. It's a joke you'll have to dig a little bit for, but not hard.
How'd the BMW do in the opening round at Imola? 11th place, so not amazing, but not bad.
1,000,000th place.
Tobias Thierolf and Bertrand Barre off. I suspect that they may have come to blows. No BMW sprint cars.
What about BMW sauntering cars?
Well, that would be the Enduro car, which I just talked about. Finished at 11th place.
Sauntered along.
James Butler lapping Luciano Echazo, and somehow has ended up putting the pressure on Sebastian Bodine here. So Bodine's had some rough times. Butler's got fresher tires because he was the second to last prototype to actually pit. Only Max Simmons going longer. So we'll see if he can make up some ground here and get some interest going on here. Thierolf and Barrier fighting for third place as well.
James Butler has been non-denominationally shenanigans. There's a lot of fucking penalties. What's going on here?
Slow down stuff, yeah. Fordham and Barker is the best fight in the GT3 field as Fordham goes down the inside of the hairpin. Should be able to get that if he can keep it clean on the exit, and he does. So Fordham back in front. They're trying to catch up to Mauricio Delgado, who's up ahead in the Z06. Butler versus Bodine. It'd be Bodine, Bodin, Bodin, Bodine.
Bodin. Isn't Baden-Baden a place?
Yes, it is.
There you go. Maybe Bowden's from Baden-Baden. Bowden from Baden-Baden out here in the... I had something on it and it's gone. God damn it.
Butler got a nose in front, and I think he'll hold it here. Yeah, Bowden goes much too deep. And James... Oh! But Butler goes very wide on the rejoin. And Bowden's back in front.
these are bad things, right?
Barker. Well, it depends on who you're rooting for.
I'm rooting for Mauricio Delgado. God damn it!
I'm rooting for Bowden in that fight because we've been through this. I'm not rooting for any of the Audi cars.
Mauricio.
Speaking of Audi cars, there is Tobias Thierolf getting involved in this Barker versus Fordham fight as they come through for some blue flag traffic, and it looks like Tobias has gotten a little bit of the short end of the stick there. Barrier got through without really any problems, and Thierolf had to wait a little longer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Juan Bacardeo is pulling out ahead of gray car number 17.
Well, he's not racing the gray cars. They're in another class.
Put him in the wall.
This is just blue flag observance.
Steve Dave overtaking non-gray car 782.
Mauricio. Having a really good day, actually, Mauricio. Up in 9th place. Where did he finish in the first race? Because I think he had a rough time. Yeah, he finished 15th. He had a rough time. And took a penalty, so... He's actually in the minus score right now. On the tail of Rene Ermer. Try and get that 8th place.
Murcielago Diablo coming in hot. Gonna put you in the wall, bitch. I enjoy the fact that it's he's got the flame pattern, but it's in the Edmonton Oilers colors. That's very, very nice. Like that.
As a inhabitant of British Columbia, like Edmonton or Calgary, which one do you cheer for?
Fuck Calgary. Fuck Calgary right in its dumb ear hole.
All right, that's the answer.
Fuck Calgary so hard in its dumb ear hole that they finally listen to reason about anything. Holy shit. Edmonton is cool. They're chill. They're northern. Calgary thinks they're Texas, and it's sad.
I got you.
Also, West Edmonton Mall. Fuck Calgary. Although I have family in Calgary, so I mean, I can't.
I tend to be fairly neutral in the discussion.
Yeah, people from Calgary, they're the we're all Western and we got all the boots on, but we work in offices. And...
Oh no, Mauricio!
No!
It's gonna cost him some spots. That's gonna promote Fordham and Barker.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada is the fake country of Canada. They're the pop country. Girl, we gonna drink our solo cups, and I'm gonna sing about love, and then my car's gonna break down. Girl, country music. Girl. Whereas Edmonton's more Chris Ledoux, shit-kicking rodeo cowboy, than like we actually do work in Edmonton.
Gotcha. John Barker in 10th place. So Theorolf is still fighting with Barrier. That's over third place. Edmonds and Davidson have come pretty close together. They're 5th and 6th at the moment. Struggling a little bit. Butler is still on the tail of Bowden. So there's a fair amount of action going on outside of the top two in prototypes. And then in GT3, Markaday has dropped to Dracor like a bad habit. And is well up the road now. So that battle is over. Kazchuk and Ichazo are kind of close together, but not tremendously so. Fordham is right now just gotten past Ermer, so he's in a fight with him and Barker and Delgado. That's probably about the most interesting multi-car fight going on right now.
Remember, kids, if you have to ask, you can't afford them.
Yep.
$15 for a ZJ. What's a ZJ? If you have to ask, big man, you can't afford it. Fuck, I showed my boy Chris the Broken Lizard movies that he had never seen.
Okay.
And I'd forgotten how fucking hilarious Beer Fest, like Club Dread and Beer Fest are both goddamn hilarious, and I don't understand how they weren't just as big or bigger hits than Super Troopers. And there's a scene in Beer Fest where they go to recruit a guy for their beer drinking team, and I'm not gonna get into it too far because it's really funny. But he breaks down, he's turned to Hohen, and he's like, you gotta, I mean, my pimp's a real hard ass, and we got really. So he gives him the price list. It's like $1 to look at it, $2 to touch it, $3 for me to touch it, $4 for you to. And he goes into the BJ, the HJ, the BJ, the ZJ, and they're like, what's a ZJ? Fucking hilarious. If you've not seen Beer Fest, you
have any idea how fast you were going? 65, 63. Speed limit 65 though.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Let you off with a warning this time. Pull over! He's already pulled over. He can't pull over any further.
Littering and smoking the reefer.
I will pistol whip the next person who says shenanigans. Hey, what's that place with all the shit on the wall? Shenanigans? Ah!
Uh-oh.
Oh, John Barker getting into it with Rene Ermer. Bertrand Barrier with a spin. That'll cost him a podium.
You alright, Mac? Good enough to fuck your mother!
John Barker does get past Rene Ermer there. I wonder how much that was assisted by the contact that we saw. And Steve Davidson having another rough run through the... They've had a lot of rough runs through that hairpin. Oh boy. Davidson is still within 2 seconds of Edmonds. They're actually catching up to Barrier, who of course had that spin. So 4th place might be on offer. Not a lot of time left though.
So long story short, I picked up Beer Fest on Blu-ray.
There's a rumbling coming from outside, so it looks like a storm's coming in.
I had a storm yesterday. It lasted about a minute. The sky just like opened up and went, here, have all the rain. Waff!
Have all of it.
And then it was gone. It was sunny for the rest of the day.
Let's see. Hopefully it's something like that. I mean, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going outside.
Me neither. Except to check the mail.
Edmonds still in 5th place.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're trying to chase down Barker. Got Delgado in behind them.
Word on the street is still to this day you can hear Murcielago Diablo racing his goddamn engine. And being very enthusiastic about all kinds of things.
Very.
If it comes down to it, you will give your life to protect Mauricio Delgado and his childlike wonder and enthusiasm for beer. He is the best of us.
He is.
Michael, how often do you use etc. when there are too many examples versus do you use etc. because you ran out of examples?
I have no idea. I don't really use etc. much.
I know. That's kind of the joke. You pedantic son of a bitch. Michael will literally list everything and then go out and find more.
I will list Japanese fighters, Russian fighters, Swedish fighters. So what you're trying to tell me is that Hellboy Hansen this whole time has just been me.
Correct.
Alfonso Alexandre on the tail of Arnaud Dracor, so whatever was wrong with his car seemed to have fixed itself for a while, but now he's under immense pressure and is drifting way off of Marcadet, so that's going to give Alexandre, it looks like it's going to give Alexandre the podium here with less than a minute to go. So here I was talking about how Alexandre kind of botched the pit stop strategy, and he's going to get a podium out of it. Now, I am going to say this. I think he got the podium in spite of the strategy. I think whatever was wrong with the Dracor's car gets him that podium. And I think if he had gone with a more standard strategy, it probably would have gone better. That's just me. Debating what food to get delivered because it's raining out.
I believe you should get slow marinated yak burgers. With Komodo fries.
That's an option.
Yaks!
Time running down here. Barry and Edmonds are nose to tail, but I don't think there's going to be much action there. Delgado still tracking down Barker, trying to get him. They've got one lap to do it. I think they're actually done the race, though. This wiggling usually means AI is in control of the car. This is one area where Assetto Corsa has got it better. They have the checkered flag appear next to the cars that are done, and with RaceRoom, it's just
well in LA.
Watching what they're doing.
Yeah, buddy, get them over. Oh, they cut away from Murcielago doing the burnout. What the fuck?
Well, there are still people racing.
I don't give a shit about them. I mean, what's going on, Ariel? How are things?
How's it going?
What's up, buddy? There you go. Come on.
That's Arnor Drakor ahead of Zatoni, as well as Alex Loffer. He might be able to get that spot. Drakor's car seems to just not be working.
Well, it's probably because he shaved all that metal off hitting that bumper all the time.
Arno, leave in the comments below on this video. We need to know what happened. What happened? Because inquiring minds want to know. Max Simmons wins from Andrew D, Tobias Therold, Bertrand Barrier, Martin Edmonds, your top 5 in the prototypes. And in the GT3s, it's Guillaume Elkanduko, Daniel Marcaday, or David Marcaday, pardon me, Alfonso Alexandre, Arno Drakor, and Ariel Zatoni. And in the championship standings, we have Max Simmons leading the way by 1 point over Tobias Therold in the prototype standings. Andrew D's in 3rd, followed by Bertrand Barrier, followed by Hendrik Andreasen. That's your top 5. And then in the GT3 field, it is Guillaume Elkanduko leading the way from Luciano Echazo by 11 points. So he's quite a ways ahead. Alfonso Alexandre in 3rd, followed by Marcaday and Zatoni. Next up will be Bruno in the Czech Republic. And I'm looking forward to that. Bruno is always a good racetrack. Leads to a lot of good racing. And Byron, your final thoughts?
The only thing more embarrassing than my browser history is my calculator history.